Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
Sup, bro?
Sup, bro?
And welcome, everybody, to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show, a podcast where me and my brother Ivan talk about a movie. Each week, we do a new movie. We discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie today?
The Batman.
It's been a long time.
What, like 20 plus years?
It hasn't been that long, right? There's a Batman movie every other week.
But not this kind of Batman
Not
movie.
this kind. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. However you're listening, however you're watching, this is Peliculas with the Bros. We're a podcast. We're also on YouTube, so you can watch us or you can listen to us. If you want to listen to us, we're on all podcast platforms. So please go ahead and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we should be there. Peliculas with the Bros. Just look us up. Conversely, if you want to watch our beautiful mugs, Mexican mugs, I'm kind of brown, Ivan's kind of white. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can look us up on youtube.com or your YouTube app. You can download YouTube on a multitude of devices nowadays, right? So wherever you have your device, download YouTube. Maybe you want to go on the browser. I'm rambling on, but go to YouTube, look us up, Peliculas with the Bros, and we have a bunch of movies. Recently, we covered the movie Batman Forever just to get ready for this movie. Probably not the best movie to get ready for this movie, but you know what it is. And we also covered recent movies like Drive My Car. What's another one, Ivan?
You're the worst person.
The worst person in the world. And even before that, what's like another blockbuster we did? Spider-Man
Moonfall.
Moonfall. Who can forget Moonfall? So if you like movies about, if you like podcasts about movies, if you're interested to hear people dissect it critically, analyze it from two guys who know culture, who are hip to the game, just check it out there. But I digress. Ivan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Get your armor ready. Get that. Go to the army store right now and get the surplus equipment you need, because we're about to don our capes, put on our cowls.
Creak, creak, creak. That's leather. Creak, creak, creak.
Uh-huh. I'm about to zip up my cat suit. Zzz.
Zzz.
That it's like nice spandex
Yeah,
leather.
zzz.
Yeah. Swing my leg as I zip it up. Zzz. And we're about to make this town right. Ivan, let's talk about the Batman. Directed by Matt Reaves, written by Matt Reaves and Peter Craig. The premise of this movie: the mayor of Gotham is murdered, and the killer leaves a bizarre riddle for the Batman. The murderer continues to kill more of Gotham's elite and leaves riddles for the Batman that hint to a large web of deceit and corruption in Gotham's government and law enforcement. The Batman must now uncover the corruption and catch the serial killer known as
The Riddler. The Riddler.
With a cast of Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Zoe Kravitz, or as we like to call her, Crevice, as Selena Kyle. Shout out to Zoe. You're the best. We're just messing with you, but we do call you Crevice. Paul Dano as Edward Nashton / Riddler. Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon. John Turturro, didn't know he was in this, as Carmine Falcone.
What the?
I know. Peter Skarsgård as Gil Coulson. Wait, no. Peter Sarsgaard as Gil Coulson. Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth. And Colin Farrell as Oswald Oz Cobblepot, the Penguin. Crazy cast, crazy movie. But the director. Let's talk about our boy Matt Reaves.
Matty Reeves.
What is it?
Matty Reeves.
Matt Reaves. That's so weird. Let me list you his movies. He has a weird, like, filmography, but sort of like come up. So he starts with a movie called The Pallbearer, which is a rom-com. And it was made in 1996, I believe. In 2008, he's back in the game So like 12 years later, he's back and he's making Cloverfield. Then he makes Let Me In, which is a remake of a movie called Let Me In, but it was released in Sweden, I think. Then he dons. That's a great
Of
word.
the apes.
He dons he helms the revival. Sorry, he helms the revival of Planet of the Apes, and he makes Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then he comes back for the trequel War for the Planet of the Apes in 2017. And now, 5 years later, he's releasing this movie called The Batman. He has a weird arc, like I just said. Those movies sort of don't make sense if you're just looking at it 100 feet from the air. He's in his mid-50s. He's kind of a late bloomer just seeing this trajectory, too, you know? Like, I think he really found some success, obviously with Cloverfield, but, like, I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was his real wake up call to the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that comes when he's basically 45, 50-ish, you know?
Never too late.
It's never too late. Take that from our boy Matt Reaves himself. He actually he co-created Felicity. Have you ever heard of that? It's a TV show he co-created with J.J. Abrams. And just looking at these films that he's made, they've all sort of been praised to some extent. I have a feeling that he's like a writer first and then a director, and now maybe he's transitioning a little bit better, more than ever, with this movie specifically. But I have a feeling that he has a good sense of writing. Just from watching this movie, knowing his history, and how he came up. What I want to ask you, though, is he co-created Felicity with J.J. Abrams. And then his next film is Cloverfield, I feel, and that's sort of, I think it's executive produced by J.J. What is it about J.J.? Like, J.J. has some kind of key to, like, something in Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't totally understand it. I know he's made hits on hits as far as, like, TV shows. And, of course, he's done Super 8, which we talked about, and Star Trek. But what is it about this guy that's sort of like the whisperer to the Hollywood execs? And he can sort of, like, do everything. He freaking make 2 Star Wars movies. What is it about JJ?
He's a nice guy.
Guys, time and time again, we unveil secrets here on Peliculas with the Bros. And something we've picked up on, something that not many know, is just be nice.
Takes you far.
We noticed it with Roland Emmerich,
Mm-hmm.
Joel Schumacher, 2 of the worst, best directors of all time. And now we have JJ, who's technically not like a auteur, right? But he can sort of, he was like, oh, I have a friend called Ivan. He's going to direct this movie. I think there's something to that about being a nice guy, but there's also something sinister. It's like, it's giving me that Leo vibe where it's like, why is he being so good?
I think you're just jealous.
I am kind of jealous.
So shut up.
What's your favorite JJ movie?
The one I don't gotta watch.
Damn.
I don't know. I would have to.
Okay, ready? Super 8. Star Trek 1 or 2. Star Wars.
Probably Star Trek 1.
Star Trek 1 was pretty good. I gotta admit. Lens flare. Remember the lens flare? Yeah, I mean, look, JJ is obviously well connected in the industry. I think his mentor is Steven Spielberg himself. There's something there. I think that he's a very smart guy. I think he has well connections, and like Ivan said, he's probably a nice guy. But shout out to him for finding all these talents and putting them in the right spots. His sort of octopus web tree, whatever you like to call
Jeez.
it, of his connections in the industry goes pretty far, similar to Kanye. But I don't think he's that auteur. He's more of like the connector. It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a rap equivalent for my boy, Matt Reaves. I don't think you're ready for it, and I think you're gonna say,
Go ahead. Don't predict me.
no. You know what? Let me switch this up a little bit, because I think it's been sort of like stagnant with like the rap equivalent thing.
Okay.
I think the better thing to do is like, what's the rap equivalent of this movie, not the director. And I got one for you, but go ahead if you think you know one.
I'm thinking like a blonde.
A
Like
blonde?
Frank Ocean.
Oh. I kind of see
my
that.
reasoning.
'Kay.
Not so much like the subject matter, but like I think literally everyone likes the album,
Mm-hmm.
and like even the people who are like the haters of whoever, the haters or the lovers or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they can all agree like Blonde was good.
Okay.
Let's hear yours.
But so you did an album. I did an artist.
I thought you said an album.
Sorry. But that's good. So at least you can do the album and I'll do the artist.
Okay.
This movie, its spirit child in the rap world is XXX Tentacion.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely.
No.
Why? I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
'Cause like XXX, this movie has two sides to it. It has the emo side that can sing to you and talk about how depressing life is. And on the other side, it can be the most abrasive movie, abrasive piece of art that you've heard in a while.
Okay.
It's sad, but it's also strong.
I think X just has too much controversy. Like it's such a big aspect of him.
Controversy, you ask?
You think this movie was controversial?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
No, but I try not to think so literally, because that's when it gets hard, you know? That's why
So I'm supposed to just lie to myself?
you're just trying to see, like, who, if anything, does it match up? Does it kind of...
But I think
Does it fit enough?
X's controversy was so much a part of, like Kanye. Like his controversy is such a big part of him too.
Uh-huh.
I think.
But let's just talk about the art, not the outside.
That's part of the art. Controversy is art.
It is. Can you take it though? The other ones I have, which I don't like as much, but Young Lean. But you know what I mean, right? You can see it.
I don't know. I
You
don't
can
want
see
to.
it, right?
I don't want to see it.
All right. And Juice WRLD.
Not Juice WRLD.
I know, but it's because I was going like, who's emo? But yeah, who's emo basically? But Juice WRLD was too like druggy emo. And then Young Lean was sort of perfect in a way because he's like, he's literally like the sad gang. That's his moniker, or whatever. But I think X fits it. Specifically, like, I'm thinking about, like, how Bruce is always depressed and how he drives his beautiful, thunderous car. And, like, that's definitely XXX. So, in a different world, this movie would have starred and been directed by our boy, Ben Affleck.
Okay.
I think it was right after Snyder made Man of Steel. Ben Affleck's like, I want a piece of that. And I want the whole piece. I want to direct it, I want to write it, and I want to star in it. That's a straight up narcissist if I ever heard one. But
You're wrong.
Okay.
Because I've been watching interviews.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Where did our boy Ben Affleck want to go with this?
He said he was offered it.
By
Studios.
Okay.
And then he was going to do it, but he said he was at a point of his life where he was just not into anything. So he decided not to do it.
When you say he was not into anything, does that mean he was into alcohol more than anything?
What the?
Sorry, man. I'm just stating the facts.
That's my boy Benny.
Benny and the Jets. Sorry, bad joke. Okay. What does that mean to you, though?
I think. What do you mean? What
Like,
does that mean?
Does that make it bad? Does that make it bad? Good? Is it good that he didn't star in it? Is it bad?
I mean, it was probably going to be a good movie.
I doubt it.
How dare you?
Okay, keep going.
I mean, he's a good director, and
Is he though? What was his last movie?
Argo.
You want to see the guy? This is like what we talked about with Joel Schumacher. Like, just because like you can make a movie doesn't mean you should make the Batman.
Okay.
Like, you want to see the guy that made Argo make the Batman?
He could have done it.
He coulda, but shoulda he made it?
Guess we'll never know.
I think like I have apprehension just because he was signed on when Snyder was signed on.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a connection there that like maybe he was being influenced by Snyder or vice versa.
Okay.
And at first, obviously, I was sort of interested to see this iteration of Batman with Ben Affleck starring, directing, writing. But as time went on and as I saw what Justice League was and even like the Snyder cut of Justice League, I'm kind of glad we didn't get.
But none of that was Ben's fault.
None of that? Absolutely
Yes.
none of that was Ben's fault?
I mean, you could rationalize that it was partly his fault because he acted in the movie.
Yeah.
And if he walked away, then it wouldn't have been made.
Yeah.
But that's like, you could blame me for watching the movie and instigating, I don't know.
And giving them $20.
Yeah.
True. No, I see that. Like, maybe it wouldn't have been a direct correlation of if Zack Snyder's movie's bad, that means Benny's is gonna be bad too. But I mean, like, if anything, it would have been cool if he straight up does Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah.
because he's the perfect age for that,
Yeah.
and he kind of has like the body, like the fat
Jesus.
brick head body.
Yeah.
So, kind of wish we saw that. But I guess my issue is like more so not him acting, but him directing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it with this movie, but I want to see an auteur's vision, not a good hands vision, you know?
Okay.
So, I'm taken by your okay that you think.
Well, that is just like
differently.
opinion.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like I.
No, it's because like
What
if you look at his history, like.
No, I'm not saying that is an opinion. I'm saying what you want out of a Batman movie.
Gotcha. So you're okay with a good hand?
I think he's a good director. Like, just you're good. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, that was amazing. No, that was good.
Okay. Well, after Ben dropped out, there's a couple of people in contention. Matt Reaves is number one, obviously. But we had Ridley Scott, George Miller, your boy Denny Villeneuve, guy named Fede Alvarez. Sorry if I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you have great movies. Out of those names, which one sort of intrigues you the most? Ridley Scott, George Miller. You know George Miller, right?
I do George Miller.
Want to see George Miller's take on the Batman?
Yeah, I think it would have been brutal.
Yeah. I think it would have been like Gonzo. Like
The Muppet.
no, like Batman punches a guy in the face and his head explodes.
I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been cool.
yeah.
What about Denny's take?
I think he's too similar to like Nolan and
Okay.
like what he would want to do with Batman.
Okay. You think so, huh? I don't know, because we'll talk about that in a bit, actually. Because now looking back at Nolan, I have like a different take on Nolan after watching this.
Shut up.
Not in a good or bad way. Just like I see it differently. I'm frothing from the mouth. Anyways, they get Matt Reeves. They're making this movie. COVID sort of hurts it because it's gonna come out before whatever. But we get this movie. I've been leading up to this movie, knowing that Matt Reeves was getting it in this movie, knowing that Robert Pattinson was in the movie, knowing that Zoe, knowing that the Penguin, the Riddler, played by a couple good actors. What were you thinking throughout like the past couple years leading up to this movie?
I knew it would be good.
Damn, you're like, rack 'em up, boys. You
Just
can
sit back and relax. Watch the show. Enjoy.
Yeah. My biggest apprehension was only like, what's Matt's take on this?
Okay.
Because I don't really have an affinity to Reeves' movies. I've seen Planet of the Apes movies, and they're good, but I wasn't like my boy Matt, you know? Now he's my boy Matt, but before
He's
I was
always my boy Matt.
damn. Did you like Planet of the Apes movies?
Yeah,
Like a lot, or were you like those were good movies?
they're good movies.
Okay.
I think it just like the fact that they brought back such an old franchise in like such a good way. I know he didn't direct the first one, but to do two after, and it's still like each of them like good.
Yeah.
Have a trilogy of that of about like Planet of the Apes, such an old thing.
The first to correct you, the first one wasn't directed by him.
I said that.
Oh, sorry. No, I mean like the first one in the trilogy.
I said that.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. And the first one was kind of like wacky because it had Franco in it.
Yeah.
And it had that Franco energy. But the next two were like super serious and like.
Apocalyptic.
Where'd you watch this movie, Evan?
AMC Poway, my home.
Whoa! Oh yeah, okay, I see
My
it.
new home.
Dolby?
No.
Did they have Dolby?
No.
Missing out. Even though I didn't
No.
watch it in Dolby.
Okay.
It was too booked. What day did you go?
Tuesday.
Packed?
Mm.
What time?
Like 3:30.
Oh, okay. That's why, right? Everyone's working. Except for you. Sorry.
Jesus.
I had a packed crowd on a Sunday night, 7 p.m. Crowd was lively. I've been doing this thing where I'm like, I tell my wife, should I clap? Should I holler? She's like, no, don't do it. Batman rolls up. Woo! And everyone's like, yeah! So like, I did that.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. Even though I hate people that do that. But, you know, like, once I do it, I'm like, I did it to be funny.
That's what everyone else is thinking.
No, everyone else is the nerd now.
This guy sucks. This guy sucks.
Oh, I do suck, right? What'd you think?
It was great.
Oh, no.
It was great. Come on.
No, you're right. It's great.
Come on.
It's great.
Come on.
What can we say?
Give me it. Come on.
Did you expect it to be exactly what it was, almost?
Yeah. I mean, I came in thinking like this is gonna be amazing.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that was amazing, but it wasn't like above that.
Okay.
But it's like you expect a 9.5, and then you get 9.5. Like, are you gonna get disappointed?
What about, like, the direction it went as far as, like, the detectiveness, the darkness, the realness? Did you expect all of those things?
Finally. Yes.
Where you're like, it's going to be like, I knew it was going to be like this.
Well, I heard like he's gonna be more of a detective
I gotcha.
in this movie a while back. And I was like, thank God. That's what he's been missing.
So, okay, let's start off with the look and the feel of this movie. And I sort of want to, we'll sort of talk about previous movies before, but I mean, previous Batman movies when we're talking about this. The look and feel of this movie is, as everyone has mentioned, everyone and their mama, it's dark. It's emo-like.
Dirty.
It's dirty. It's gritty.
Rainy.
It's rainy. But this is the most realistic version of Batman and the Batman universe, correct? Out of all of the Batman?
Realistic in what way?
I would say in every way. As far as like the characters and their believability, as these could be real people in a real world.
Okay, yes. I thought you meant like realistic as like this would literally happen. This is like super grounded in our reality.
I would say this is more than other Batman movies. And that's the only thing I'm comparing it to.
Okay.
I'm not comparing this to like Drive My Car realistic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it safe to say this is the most realistic Batman universe than all other Batman universes?
I'd say most authentic.
Uh-huh. Authentic to what?
The source of like the Batman.
So you don't think it's more realistic than... So what's more realistic than...
I think besides Dark Knight Rises, I think the Nolan trilogy is most realistic.
Okay. And I was thinking about this too. Because like after watching this, and it's funny because like leading up to this, you always think, well, what Nolan did was cool because he made it realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But then after watching this, I was like, was Nolan even real? That wasn't even realistic.
It's like a different type of realistic. Well,
because now when I look back at it, to me, those the Nolan movies were like James Bond movies.
Exaggerated?
James Bond as far as like the billionaire playboy, the playboy lifestyle, and the gadgets were like James Bondy. The villains were even sort of James Bondy, like grandiose like that. Where as in this one, we have the villains be like, you can see this being a serial killer, like straight out of Mindhunter. Right. You can see the Penguin being a crime boss, like from Godfather. You can see all these things, and you can. I think probably the most unrealistic is like obviously the Batman, who's like trying to save the world or save Gotham, but he's even a little bit realistic as far as his portrayal as this downtrodden guy.
It's tough, just because like this movie still feels very comic-y. Like it feels like this could have been a storyline in the comic books. But Nolan's feels like a movie first, and then with like the comic like surrounding it. I don't know. It's like a different type of realism. I think they're both realistic, but it's just different. And I think this one's realistic to like our culture, because those movies were like 15 years ago at this point.
Yes. So would you say that a character like Bane is just as possible to really happen in the real world as a character like the Riddler?
I think Dark Knight Rises is like an anomaly.
Okay, so the Riddler and the Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker can happen just like the Riddler can happen.
In that universe, yes.
But don't take it like that. Take it like directly. It's
okay. Hold on. It's because this Batman is grounded in like our universe, like this. But Nolan's is like grounded in whatever they've created.
Exactly.
Yes. So you're saying it's realistic to us?
Yes.
I guess.
Okay. I win. Just kidding.
I didn't know this was a fight.
I'm just trying to say like what I thought was as realistic as possible, they even made it more realistic to me. Some might disagree. You might disagree, and that's fine. But I just see the realism, and it's sort of crazy to think about it like that, because this whole time I was like, Nolan, no one's gonna get more real than Nolan, but actually you can get pretty real. It just depends on how you decide to take it. I like your point about that it feels like a comic book. There's a edition of DC Comics called Black Label, and this feels like that version where it's like one-off stories and darker, grittier. Feels like that. And then there's been a bunch of hoopla about Robert Pattinson sort of looking at Kurt Cobain as his like spirit animal for this role, which I think is sort of bullshit. I think it's just like a way to sell the character.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It does, but I just have a hard time being like, all right. It's sort of imprinted in my brain like, all right, this guy's Kurt Cobain now, and it's hard not to see. But that's just me. I do like the journaling aspect of this movie a lot. And it reminds me of The Dark Knight Returns, because he talks to himself like how messed up Gotham is in the comic book. But in this, he's like talking to himself via journal, and the way they do that in film version is cool. I like that a lot. And yeah, the detective part of this whole movie is like, I didn't think it was gonna be that detective, but I'm glad they went that way. And like you said, or like as has been mentioned, Batman is from the source a detective, and throughout history that's sort of been lost. You know, he's more of like a superhero, a bruiser. But now it's like, damn, they straight up made like a Law and Order episode as a movie.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Did you get like Mindhunter vibes?
I didn't think about it during the movie at all, but when you said that, I was like, oh yeah.
I got it, and then after I heard someone say Zodiac and David Fincher, and I was like, oh yeah, I see that now too. But the Riddler's portrayal as this psychopath serial killer was cool, because it's so different from Jim Carrey's The Riddler, and so much more realistic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Just the fact that it's sort of like, after watching Mindhunter, everyone becomes sort of an expert on serial killers, but you can see the similarities in how a serial killer thinks, and how sort of, was it so detailed, you can see it. What else? Did you understand the whole story as far as like this intricate web they're trying to tell about the corruption in Gotham? Were you following it step by step as it was going, or was some of it getting lost for you?
I don't think I was lost. Like I figured like Riddler was killing the corrupt of Gotham. And then there's like a scene where Gordon is like, he's hunting officials. He's like, you're not corrupt, you're safe. So I was like, okay, I get what Riddler's doing.
What about like how, spoiler alert, obviously, how the Waynes were connected to the crime families? Like, do you know who Maroni was? Because like Maroni was mentioned, but he was never shown, and I was sort of confused by that.
I think it's just I have a little more backstory knowledge. I'm a little bit of a Batman nerd, some would say.
You never want to say that at a party.
Exactly like that too.
Yeah.
Roll my eyes.
Some call me a Batman expert. By some, I mean my mom.
Yeah. Well, Maroni and what was the other one? Falcone?
Yeah.
Falcone? Maroni, Falcone, Baboni. They were in there were characters in the trilogy, the Nolan trilogy.
Yes.
And I watched. They're pretty fresh in my mind. So I was already aware of like the mob aspect of
The connections.
Yeah, of the Batman world.
Yeah. Me too. I just wasn't sure how it was like really connected when they were mentioning like, oh, he was the snitch.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin wasn't actually involved. He wasn't actually involved, and I was like, what? I was getting confused.
I think it's because we technically didn't know that Falcone.
Yeah.
I want to say Falcone so
I know.
bad.
Falcone.
We didn't know he was the boss. Like, we weren't technically supposed to know, like the viewer, because we have backstory knowledge. We knew he's like a big guy just because of his name. And then the reveal that like he's behind it all. He's pulling the strings in the city. Like, I could have told you that.
Yeah.
But I think we're an anomaly.
That's true. I was also there was the whole thing that Bruce's father was involved with the mob family, right? And that sort of coming to light was sort of
Hurt you?
no, it was cool.
Oh.
It was interesting and trying to see like, damn, they're really trying to spin this where maybe the Waynes are bad guys. I like this. I like where it's going. The final payoff and how it's revealed of like how it actually happened and what was happening, it didn't really satisfy me, honestly. That part where
What?
like Alfred's like, he didn't mean to kill him, and
I like that part.
I like that part, but I don't like the whole
You wanted them to be like straight up evil?
I wanted there to be a little bit more seediness to like, yeah, I guess.
Oh. Wrong.
I mean,
The
sure.
classic wrong. wrong. I get that, but I like the fact that like literally like there's nobody perfect in this world.
Yep.
And it's hard to relate to a character that's like Thomas Wayne, who's the perfect dad. Like in the Nolan trilogy, he's like, you have nothing to fear, son.
Right.
Perfect dad, whatever.
Yep.
But in reality, people mess up
Yep.
when they're weak. And they go into that in this movie saying like he's a good man, but this reporter, he was just trying to stop him from being that good man. So he asked Falcone to stop him, but then Falcone
Killed him.
so he can have some leverage over Thomas Wayne, and Thomas Wayne's like, no, I didn't want you to kill him, but you said take care of him. So it's like that whole little loop. But I just like that he was revealed as being somewhat evil and then redeemed as he was just weak like anyone else, but he was a good man.
And another way that Matt Reaves is bringing in the realism where the character isn't a white knight like how he's portrayed in Nolan's films and other films, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. Batman's such a good detective in this. He sees everything.
Like,
I like the little contact glasses that record everything. Cool gadget. Very
I like
cool.
how he had a bunch of little gadgets.
Yeah.
Like,
The overall look of his suit, his weapons, his manner was cool. It wasn't so glossy as it was it has been before. You can tell he's rich, but he's not investing in his place. Like, he's keeping it messy.
yeah.
Like, he's a messy boy.
Jeez.
So I like that.
I think this is like the first Batman where like the costume arguably is like already perfect as is.
How so?
I mean,
Like, don't improve on it?
I mean, they will in some way, but even like the Nolan trilogy where like it was good costumes. Batman Begins, he was running like this at the start.
Oh, right.
And then in Dark Knight, he finally got like neck movement, which is like what they've been missing for like 30 years. So it's cool to see like they've just nailed it instantly without that like cheesiness.
Yep.
There's like tiny moments of cheesy, but I think it makes sense for the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Joker's was cheesy. We'll talk about that in a bit. The Riddler, played by Paul Dano, serial killer, great portrayal. I wish I saw more of the Riddler without the mask, because when it was finally revealed, that was like, that felt good. Him just being on. That's why it reminded me of Mindhunter, because like the way he gave himself up, it was like, that
Right.
seems so realistic of what
Yeah.
a serial killer would do. His smile, oh man, so creepy. I didn't like how he put the question mark in his coffin.
Ding,
I'm like,
ding,
okay, that's
ding.
corny.
But that's like, if I thought it was corny too, but like the comics are just naturally corny itself.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that.
that's
the
for
very
the fans.
middle ground sort of corniness. That's not way too deep into the corny,
Yeah.
but like just enough. Like, yeah, this is a comic book. We like to have a little fun here.
Welcome to DC. We like to have a little fun here. My name's Hatred. I'll give you the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the whole. I felt a lot of like the QAnon type of thing, like the Trump
Mhm.
supporters. How the Riddler's reaching out to the masses, and some people are supporting his crazy ideas.
Real fringe type.
Fringe types, and they're paying him. He has like a OnlyFans. He has like a Zoom
Yeah.
or a Twitch feed that people watch. I like that. Seems super realistic that it could happen. Robert Pattinson, Ivan. Let's talk about our boy.
Robbie Patty.
He's officially inducting him into the Peliculas with the Bros Hall of Fame.
Who's in it? This is like-
You and me, baby.
okay.
We need to start giving out these awards more often, because
He's the first one.
yeah, he's the first one. What'd you think about our boy Rabbi?
No complaints. He's
Dark.
good.
Emo, stoic.
Yeah. I hope in whatever the next movie, he's a little more billionaire. Like,
Do you?
because I think that's a big part of Batman, where he kind of fakes being happy as Bruce Wayne. So like you throw off the scent of Batman.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't want him
true.
to be like, ciao. Come over here, baby.
Caught that with that mic.
Well, that's what I don't want.
Okay, I see that.
But I just want a little more separation between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say that Bruce and Batman are basically the same character,
Yeah.
and that's, I think, the first time it's been so close. I would say Val Kilmer's like Bruce Wayne and Batman were pretty close too.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it was really evident that he wasn't playing a character when he was Batman.
Right.
He wasn't like what's our boy?
Paul Dano,
No,
Riddler,
Batman from the previous movie.
Christian.
Yeah, our boy Christian Bale. He's not going, I'm Batman. You know,
Yeah.
and I like that, and I like how savage he is.
Gruesome.
His punches are so
Like, yeah.
like he's punching through your face. Not
Yeah.
he's not hitting your face. He's hitting through your face.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm pretty sure that guy should have been dead at the end.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
when he went steroids. Boom, boom, boom. That was like 5 like life-killing punches.
Yeah, more like 10, but Robert Pattinson was brutal, especially in that scene at the very end where he's punching through his face.
Boom, boom,
Thank you for replaying that.
boom.
He has a huge noggin.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's big in general in the suit. Like,
Yeah.
they made him like. Like you turn around, it's like, oh Jesus.
yeah.
And those boots, like,
Great guttural sounds.
yeah, so good.
The introduction of Batman in this movie is cool because they tease that he's like in the shadows everywhere.
Right.
And I love that idea of everyone's afraid of the shadows, but he's
in the-
actually only in one spot. It worked for me.
Yeah.
It worked. He's also, I want to give Pattison credit, but it's also how Reeves conceived of him portraying it. Like, he's a great actor, but shout out to Reeves for actually going through with this portrayal of Batman.
Right.
And there's a lot of connections between Batman and the Riddler. I think that's like one of the main storylines, how the Riddler's obsessed with Batman, and they're connected by both being orphans. They're both obsessive. They're very similar in that way. They both keep journals obsessively, you know.
They want to save Gotham.
They want to save Gotham, which is a weird way of showing a bad guy who's sort of just doing he's trying to be good, but in the worst way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Kravitz, aka Zoe Kravitz. What do you think about our girl Zoe Kravitz?
Good Catwoman. Very good.
That's a weird voice, man.
Very good.
I feel like they didn't write her too much. Like, they probably could have given her a little bit more story in a way, but what she did was very good.
I think it's because we know her as like Catwoman, but she's definitely more of a side character.
Yes.
We want Catwoman.
I love how she looks. She was like so slender in the movie, and just there's a lot of silhouettes in the movie where they just show like the silhouette of the character, and her by herself looks awesome, and then her next to Batman, how huge Batman looked and how slender she looked. But it's like the two different. It's like when you play like Soul Calibur or any fighting game, and you pick like different characters, and you pick Bowser because you love playing with like big fat guys in Smash Brothers, or you pick like Link, with a completely different fighting style, but can still kick ass. But just the look of it, I was like, damn, this looks dope. Shout out to Zoe. Other cool things about this movie.
The car. Jesus. Just straight up heroin.
That was like that was straight up for
roaring.
Like all the nerds.
I don't even like cars, but like now I like cars.
It's like I think I like cars now finally. Thank you, Maddie.
Yep.
Wow. What a car.
A monster.
A monster.
And the whole chase scene in the rain.
Yeah.
Like I was never really, like I never cared about car chases in a while or ever. But that scene I was like, this could go on forever and I'd be happy. Just because it was so brutal. Like just like the sounds and like the fear that Penguin felt.
Yeah.
And then when he finally went over, it's like, what the hell is this guy?
Boom. Yeah. Shout out to that blue flame that will be imprinted in my brain for eternity. Love that car. Muscle car. Great departure from like the classic Batmobiles. From like the very stylized long one.
With the little thing on top and on the top of the car. It's like the fin.
Oh, yeah. And then to Nolan's, which is more like a
realistic tank, maybe?
Yeah, like a realistic tank. And this one, he straight up said, you know what? Let's drop the realism. Let's say he wants to build a badass Ford Mustang.
Fast, mean, scary car.
Yeah.
Must be so scary. Like, you're
The
a villain
sound.
and you hear like, jeez.
You just say, oh!
I would probably like scream like a girl, you know?
And I love how it didn't go, like, it broke on the first go, right?
The car?
Yeah. Like, he was trying to turn it on, and then it just, like, shut off because...
Oh, I thought that was like a warning. Like, what is that?
Oh. No, I think he tried to, because he was trying to get him, and then I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Mm.
Maybe.
I also like the motorcycles.
Oh, like how they're used a lot,
Yeah.
and they're like stealth mode.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like the look of them two riding motorcycles. It's very it's like similar to Drive My Car, where just the design of it looked cool.
Right.
Obviously not Drive My Car, but what if like I was thinking about this, a Mad Men version of the Batman.
What does it?
Come on, man.
What does that mean?
What it means is Don Draper,
Okay.
aka Bruce Wayne.
Okay. So
And
you
then-
want like the Bruce Wayne show, but you don't show Batman at all. You just show him like tired.
Hardly.
Get out of here.
The Penguin's in this movie. He doesn't do much. When he's in it, you gravitate towards him. Crazy that Colin Farrell is the Penguin. This movie's been such a success that they've already green-lighted the Penguin miniseries. I mean, I'm down. I hope it stays this guttural, this realistic, and it's like a straight up like gangster mafia story. That'd be dope.
Like The Wire, but the Penguin.
Ow. Okay, what else? One more cool thing that I really like is just I talked about the silhouettes, but some of the views that are shown in this movie, like the classic wherever Batman always meets up with Gordon and with Selena Kyle, just that cityscape, and it's like freaking super red. Oh man, that looks awesome.
The city scene towards the start where it's like Times Square, but it's not Times Square.
Yeah.
And you see all that and it's raining.
Yeah.
Good.
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 Good. Good.
Okay. Now I'm gonna start asking the hard questions. Best Batman movies.
This one next.
Really?
No. Well, it's like probably top 3. I think
There's definitely recency bias for me with this movie.
well I can think past that.
Okay. So what's number 1? Is it Dark Knight?
I think Batman Begins. Need to see-
Batman Begins over the Dark Knight?
Yeah. I just think Batman Begins is like such a like a good little movie. Like movie.
But is it the best Batman movie is the question.
I think this would be the best Batman movie.
Okay.
Because this Joker was very iconic. Like violently iconic. So it's very hard to like separate that at all. Like when you have such a good villain, like it's just gonna make the movie like way, way better no matter what.
Yeah. I also like Dark Knight because like I think the story made a lot of sense.
Okay.
As far as like the inner fight that Bruce has about what's the future of Gotham, Harvey Dent, the White Knight, the Dark Knight, all that interplay, and then you have the Joker, which is like another beautiful piece, and like his psychotic nature, and obviously a great character. This movie, I think it's so good. It's like Batman Begins on steroids to me. Where I think Batman Begins is sort of, like you said, it's a good movie, but I think it's also kind of, it's not the best Batman movie. No, it's not the best Batman. I have to say Dark Knight number 1 and this one number 2. And then I don't know. I don't know where to put the original Batman and where to put Batman Returns. It's my boy Tim Burton, man. And like what he did was so different.
I would have to rewatch them. I
you
wanna
can't
rewatch.
compare. It's like you can't compare those
I can.
because they're not your type of they're not your type of movies for sure,
Okay.
and they're very stylized. They're not trying to be what these movies are. It's a different era, you know. It's so hard to compare. Whatever. Best Batman villains.
Ever?
In the movies, yeah.
Probably Joker.
Who's number 2? Where does the Riddler stack up?
Like 28th.
Really?
No.
Oh. He's definitely behind the Joker.
He's good. It's just that he's technically like not really the Riddler yet. Like Batman doesn't have his villains fully in this universe yet.
He's in this.
But he's not the Riddler. He's like pre-Riddler, and then after the Joker talk, that's when he's like, "All right, I'm Riddler."
Interesting. I have to disagree with that. I think he's fully formed. I think he's just gonna be
Because not even Batman's fully formed.
okay. I mean, he's not as strong as he's not as dangerous as he's gonna be in the upcoming movie or whatever.
Riddler?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's definitely fully formed character.
Wrong.
Next,
Woo!
I say he's behind Joker. I'm not sure if he's ahead of Jack Nicholson's Joker. The Penguin from Batman Returns, Danny DeVito. Come on, man. Selena Kyle, Batman Returns. She was really good.
Yeah.
But Riddler's was iconic. Good job, Paul Dano. Good job. Ivan. Okay, wait. I didn't even ask one of the more important questions. Best Batman. So we have Robert Pattinson. We have Christian Bale. We have who's the original Batman? What's his name? From
Michael Keaton?
yeah, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
I don't know.
You know, it's between Robbie.
Just like Batman or like Bruce Wayne Batman?
It's a great question.
Thanks. I try.
Did you enjoy Christian Bale more than Robert Pattinson?
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's because, I mean, I really like Bruce Wayne or Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
a lot. But his Batman, he had good fear, but he didn't have the detectiveness, and that's more direction, not his fault.
It's hard. It's hard.
And technically, Christian Bale doesn't look as
Menacing.
no, he doesn't look like traditional Batman. Like the square jaw.
Oh, right.
He has like a diamond head.
Yeah.
If like nitpicky, but
Diamond Head? Nah, you're out. You're number 2 now.
because I think Val Kilmer, he looked like a Bruce Wayne if he had like darker hair.
Yeah. Good job, Val.
George Clooney, it was just like George Clooney in the Batman costume.
So weird.
They all have like tiny things that make them like better. I think technically the best Batman is from like the animated series.
Yeah. But we can't do that.
Yeah.
I think Batman is best when his villains are the best,
Mm-hmm.
as showcased by this one and also by Batman Returns. So I think it's always going to be hard. I think this movie's doing really well, which is good. Means there's going to be a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end, there's no stinger, but there is Joker coming out with partially face shown, talking to the Riddler, saying, "We're friends. We should team up." What do you think about that?
I liked it. They probably didn't have to include it, but I like that it shows like, because they say at the end, like now that there's the power, what's it called?
Power grab.
Yeah, there's a power grab now. So everyone's gonna become the villains, and then Batman's gonna have to really be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So I like how it shows like Riddler being more Riddler, and then Joker technically being born.
I just don't like that. I feel like you said they didn't have to do it, and it's also sort of the more cartoony part of the movie, where he's like, "You need a friend," and they're all both laughing. It's just
Well,
like
it's Joker.
it is Joker, but I'm just saying if you're gonna be realistic, and I don't know anything about this character that they're portraying. Like this guy just laughing like a hyena. It's like it just felt.
Want a spoiler?
I know who it is.
Not that.
Go ahead.
I saw a Matt Reeves interview where he was describing that scene,
Oh.
and he said this Riddler is gonna be closer to like the super old classic. You already know this? Oh, the super old classic Joker, like black and white sort of Joker, and then his thing is that he has a permanent smile, but like he's had it his whole life,
Right.
and like because of that he can like read people super instantly, because like he can see how they treat him differently and see like who they are by how they treat him. So it's kind of like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, where like the disability makes people treat him differently,
Mm-hmm.
but this time it's like a smile that he always has.
Oh.
That's like the disability. It kind of goes into like the mental illness theme
Right.
that's going on.
I like that. I like where it'll go. I
Mhm.
just it just felt sort of different tone at how it was portrayed in this one.
Okay.
But I'm happy either way. It's a nitpick. So sequel's definitely gonna come now. The state of DC is an interesting state right now.
We're in the golden age. Finally, we're here.
Ivan,
We're here.
relax, because right now we have next up is the Flash. What happens to the Golden Age?
I forgot.
Which is gonna be interesting because it's gonna have
I saw like 3 flashes.
3 Flashes. It's gonna have a couple Batmans because it has like this multiverse type of thing. Then we're gonna have Black Adam, played by not our boy The Rock, because our boy is
Rocky.
Batista.
Oh.
Just kidding. Rock, if you ever want to hop on the podcast, we'll love to have you here.
We'll get you a little stool right there.
Black Adam's coming out, Aquaman's coming out, Shazam is coming out, and Joker 2 has been greenlit.
Really?
I think so. That's what I heard. Maybe I'm just.
Sounds fake.
Anyways, what's happening to DC? What's their trajectory? What do you think? What's their future? Give it to me, Evan. Give it to me straight though. Straight.
I was about to say something. I think they're doing what they should have been doing.
I should have done.
They're doing what they should have been doing, and what I thought they should have, what I thought they were going to do like 2 years ago. Whereas like keep it super multiverse, like have almost no connections, maybe like little drop-ins here and there, but just like all standalone stories. Like when Joker was coming out, that's what I thought we were gonna be. Like, okay, I get it. This is what they're doing. Maybe they are, but like they still have to release the poopy stuff that was like backed up that they got out from like the colonoscopy. You know,
Like Aquaman,
yeah.
Shazam.
Well, hold on.
'Kay.
Come on.
'Kay.
Respect.
'Kay.
But yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Like multiverse, nothing's really connected. It's all connected. Doesn't matter. Good movies, which is better than, I mean, technically Marvel's about to do that, but
They're starting there.
yeah. So it doesn't really matter. Cinematic universes are out. Now we're multiverse.
Damn it, they switched it up on me. Do you think their tone is gonna lean towards the darker? Whereas
All of them? I
like
think
the Marvel ones are sort of lighter.
It'll just depend on the character, like what it needs to be. Because I'm thinking like if they make a Plastic Man movie, like that dude's goofy, super goofy. I think it'll be super lighthearted, funny, but like closer to like Suicide Squad tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that character would go with the Batman.
Right.
Maybe way down the line they'll do something, but I don't think they should care about way down the line. They should just focus on good movies and then like, hey, this Batman and Plastic Man, I have an idea for it. Get a good director, writer, whatever.
I just hope they don't bring Matt Reeves' Batman to another movie with a different tone.
I don't think Robert Pattinson would allow it.
Shout out to our boy Robbie. He's a real auteur from acting side of it, right?
I think after Twilight, he's gonna be like very cautious of what his characters are seen as.
I can't wait. Cause he's like, I know this game.
Yeah,
I've experienced the worst.
he really has.
Let me show you how to do it.
Because he was in Harry Potter first,
Yeah.
and that's like
Cedric Diggory.
my boy, my boy.
You killed my boy.
Harry Potter, Twilight, now Batman. I think does he have like the biggest like career ever technically? Maybe Robert Downey Jr. is bigger. Like a person who's been in
yeah.
such huge franchises.
Right. Yeah, I think Robert just because
Like Batman pushed him over.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I just hope they don't intermix with different tones too much.
Yeah. Let's hope
Like-
they don't get scared.
Shazam, keep him. Yeah, he can go with Aquaman, but don't bring the Batman and Penguin over to this land.
Maybe just have Ben Affleck in the back burner, like our resident Batman cameo, you know?
I think that he said it was like the last time he's ever gonna do it.
Okay,
He's
never
like,
mind.
I'm done, guys. I'll do this one for you, but
I think they're doing Batwoman now.
don't they have like a show? They have like hundreds
No,
of
they're
shows.
doing a Batgirl movie by Joss Whedon.
Really? Really? My boy Josh is back in the game?
Your boy. I hate him.
Oh. Used to like him when you're like 12.
Okay.
Let's rank this movie, Evan. All right, I mean, let's rewatchability. Where's it on? your scale?
High. The first high.
High? Okay. One question before we get there. Would this movie be better if it was rated R?
Nah.
No?
Well, no. I don't need anything else from this.
Grittier, serial killer. Like everything is pretty gritty. Just like
The only thing that would change is like show blood and guts, but like they showed with like the like you don't need gore or anything to show how brutal things are.
okay. Yeah, I could see both ways. Yeah, it's a high rewatchability for me. Favorite scene. What's your favorite scene? One of my favorite scenes is the car chase. Easy one to put there. Him just driving that hog, chasing Penguin in his little Porsche,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, Maserati. I love all the diary scenes. Love the emo-ness of this movie.
Just whenever like he slow walked somewhere, he's just like, there's like a fear. Like I wasn't scared, but like I could imagine like the fear these people had when he would just slowly walk up to them. Like that's Batman right there.
Beautiful. I love the night mode that he does in the club. There's like a couple scenes that look amazing where the guns were firing and you just see a glimpse of them walk. Poof, poof.
There's a scene in Dark Knight like that too.
There was?
Yeah,
I forgot.
super similar.
Okay.
Maybe it's like homage.
Maybe. Yeah. And then I like when he was talking to Selena up at their spot. They're making cutesy faces at each other.
Cutesy pootsy wootsy.
I just like the look of it.
Titillating.
Titillating. Ivan, let's rate this movie. Out of 5 tickets, don't hold back. How many tickets is this movie? Oh, God. Ivan, no. No, Ivan.
4.75.
4.75.
I think there's no valid reason. Just I don't know what a 5 would be. Like
I've been feeling that so much lately. But yeah.
like what's a perfect movie?
Yeah, I know. For me, man, you're gonna get
Let's
mad
hear
at
it
me.
for. Titillate the audience.
This movie's 3 hours long.
Didn't feel like it.
Some people felt it.
I was like smiling for like the first hour. Honestly, I was just so happy. Like everything was good. Like so far,
Yeah.
and I knew it was gonna be good. It was probably the best moment of my life.
Jesus. Oh, I'll give this movie a 4.25.
Livable.
I think the detective part of the film could have been executed better. Don't ask me how. And I feel like this whole the Wayne plot sort of let me down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Nitpicks in a way, but it's so hard now. Like rating these movies, you just realize, like, especially because we watch good movies mostly.
Sure.
So I love the movie though. I think that's the important thing. Like, I loved it, but it's not a 10. That's where I'm like, the more movies I watch, the more I realize, like,
There's
I
no
love
10.
all movies, but you're just not a 10. And almost nothing will ever be a 10.
Probably like the third movie in this trilogy. If it's gonna be a trilogy, that's gonna be like a 10.
I think the second movie is like,
Well, if there's a pattern, if like imagine this is a 4.75, next one has to be a 5.
because that's what they did about like Batman Begins, right?
He's gonna have free reign, 4 hours long.
Extra director's cut, rated R.
So good.
Thank you, Matt Reaves. You've heard some of his interviews, right? He's a weirdo.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you see his face?
He had a mustache.
He's just like very.
White.
No, he just like talks like fast, like
Oh.
he's like, I did this because of this and this and this, and I want that. He's like, he knows his subject
I
very
appreciate you.
Guys, that was the first time ever.
Best of your life. Because in the interview, he was like explaining exactly what he meant,
Yes.
which is something like kind of new. Because it
Yep.
always feels like artists are like up to your interpretation.
That'd be me.
I hate you.
I know.
I don't appreciate you.
I know.
So it's nice him like 100% humble, just saying, well, Batman is this. I intended to do this. This is what I like that. So like it helps me see like the process of like what to do instead of like, I don't know, like a Stanley Kubrick who's like, it's all in my mind. I know exactly what I'm doing. It's part of the art. Art.
Does
Art
Matt,
with T.
other than Batman movies, where do you see Matt Reaves going?
Up.
Nice.
Well, like you do this, you can do anything you want.
Right.
That's happened to Nolan, and this is, I think, is probably going to get received even better than Nolan's because it's more true to like the comics. It looks perfect in every way.
Yeah, if history's any indication, he'll probably go make original movies now
Whatever he wants.
after making 2 straight franchises, go
Yeah.
up. So I mean, he's 55. Come on, man. You have to start making your original movies now.
Yeah.
All right. That was it for the Batman. Next, we'll move into a section called
Things and such.
Anything up your alley?
No.
Evan? It's over.
That was comedic timing at its
Was it?
best. Yes. Yes. I was gonna say,
I know you.
I couldn't do it though.
I knew you couldn't. I know you.
I've been watching. I watched.
Wait, that's on on the telly. This is things and such.
Is this like?
This is like random shit throughout the week.
Okay, hit me with something. I'll remember.
There's really nothing, honestly.
You monster.
The Batman sort of predominated my life. There's the Penguin stuff. There's that's all I have actually. I don't have anything else. Inflation, man, gas prices, boy.
It's not to get political, but those are expensive prices.
It's so political. That's ridiculous.
Feels like we're gonna cataclysmically explode.
The recession's coming, folks.
Yeah.
Hold on to your water buckets, 'cause you're about to get thirsty. I just made that up. I don't even know what it means.
Listen to this man.
Oh, I have one thing. I went to a new comic book store. It's closer than the other comic book stores that I've gone to. I don't know why I haven't gone. It was insane in there
Okay.
because it was different from other comic book stores because this guy had nothing. It was so disorganized. He had like boxes on top of boxes of books and random things. And I'm like, I like this guy. This guy's real. Not like the other stores where like everything looks
You should've
nice.
told him. I like this place because it's ugly. It's messy.
And it's cool too because they had graphic novels that I've been looking for at other places. I'm like, damn, this whole time this guy had like a stash of dope graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny too because there's a group of. It was new comic book day every Wednesday they released new comic books, and I came on a Wednesday and there was a group of guys just like talking about comics, and I was like, oh god.
Should have went next to him like to whatever they were saying.
But it's so dumb of me the things I do sometimes because like I do that because I look down on people like that, but only because I'm afraid to be in that conversation.
Were they ugly?
I didn't look at the faces. I was too scared.
I would have been like, yeah, you're ugly.
And it's just funny. Just like that idea of like being at a comic book store, talking with like comic book nerds. I heard one of the guys, I forgot what exactly he said, like, guys, I did something. I bought my first Marvel comic in a while. And they're like, oh my God.
That's funny.
It's like those kind of things. And I was like,
it's funny to see like the background lore and like the drama for the hobbies.
yeah.
And like if you said that to somebody like, why is Marvel like that? Like Marvel's
Yeah.
cool, everyone loves Marvel, but they don't know the comics. They don't know like Marvel doesn't make any good comics anymore. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And how many millions of hobbies are like that where it's like,
Oh, you like Porsches?
yeah.
Must that like Savanis?
Savanis.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Time for a section we like to call What's on the Telly? Ivan, what'd you watch?
I watched a very dangerous show, and I'm scared to tell you. Not Euphoria, but on HBO. Ever heard of a show called How To with John Wilson?
Oh, no. But I've seen it. I mean, I've seen the thing. Title screen. I haven't seen the show.
I don't know if you should watch this.
It's going to give me ideas, huh?
No.
Oh.
It's going to de-romanticize New York for you.
Oh, God.
I shouldn't have watched it. I shouldn't have watched it. I need you to react. I'll give you a snip. And
Give me a snippy.
Give you a little. Maybe you should watch it after. Because I watched it, I was like, I don't know about New York anymore. Do you know the premise at all?
Nope.
So this dude, he he's kind of a weirdo. Like he films like everything about his life, like forever, and then he got an HBO show. So he just like gets his B-roll footage of like random things he films.
Cootie.
Shut up.
Okay.
Not like it's. I mean, it's in a way worse than him. But his B-roll footage of like people like in New York walking, doing random things. Like since he records everything, he has so much footage of like random things, and he cuts it together to like make a little kind of like a story.
Yeah.
But like it starts with like the first episode is, what was it? Well, there's an episode of him like trying to figure out like what do you call the things in that the scaffolding in like New York? You know how there's scaffolding everywhere? Like
West Side Story.
Sure.
I can relate.
Well, he's like looks up. He researches like he talks to people about scaffolding and like their relationship, and then he finds like a scaffolding guy who says like, oh, there's a convention in New Orleans. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go. So like it naturally evolves into like this little adventure. But like the thing that de-romanticizes New York is that like it shows the scaffolding like just on every single building, and it makes everything look so ugly. But like there's like 12 episodes of like random parts of New York that he does that. So there's like a parking episode where he sees like he gets a car and he has to park, but he like travels like for hours looking for a parking spot. And there's like a phenomena where they have to clean the streets each week, but you can't give up your spot. So everyone gets in their car, and when they see the street cleaner come up, they all at the same time go forward and then curve. The street cleaner goes, and everyone goes right back. And like everybody does that. Isn't that crazy?
I'm kind of confused. How do they know when to do it? How are they all on the same car at the same time?
Because they're told this is going to get clean.
Oh, so they're like, we know the how this works. We don't want to lose our spot. Everyone get ready. Everyone. Gotcha.
Like in sync. Forward.
Okay. Why don't you like that?
Because it's like super anxiety inducing. But like imagine 12 episodes of like random parts of New York, random aspects of New York where everything is like that.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
In a way, yeah. Like it shows you sort of how things work, and in showing you how things work, you become sort of like enlightened of like but I guess that's the confusing part. Like I get the scaffolding thing because like I noticed that when I'm driving down my street that there's so many wires. I'm like, I've never seen so many wires, and it kind of makes this look ugly. Mirror Mace isn't like this. And I see that with scaffolding, but I don't see how that sort of
de-romanticizes.
Yeah. Like other than parking.
If I could remember more episodes, I would tell you. But like it basically shows like how like overcrowded and messed up and not fun New York actually is.
Right. Like it's this way because of how bad certain problems are.
Yeah, and it's like government problems, like city problems. And like even the scaffolding thing, like it started because however many years ago, like a brick from a building fell and killed a person. So they like made a law named after her, saying like we're gonna check every building for like bricks like that. And then because of that law, like a $8 billion industry of scaffolding was born.
But isn't scaffolding just so you can go up to the top or like to different sections?
There's that scaffolding, but there's like scaffolding that just is like around the first floor. Like it's meant so like if something drops, it'll hit that scaffolding.
Oh, no, yeah. So I was on Google Maps looking at places to go to New York, and I realized like you can't really see some of the stores.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's this like ugly thing right here? Like get it out. Like that's what you're talking about.
Yes. And he shows like Breakfast at Tiffany's shows Tiffany's as like in the movie.
Yeah.
And then it shows real life scaffolding. You can't see like the Tiffany sign, anything. Like all those places are like that.
Yeah. I see your point now.
You should watch it after New York.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it right now.
There's a lot of rats. I'll tell you that right now.
Let's experience it. See how it is.
I'm sure it's like, because it's slightly a comedy, so he kind of he plays into it.
Okay.
And he records everything, so like he's only gonna put in like the random funny stuff. Like he found a video of like guy opening his car, pukes, closes the door, and like he got that, and he has like a ton of videos like that.
So he's like an OCD guy type of guy.
And he talks. There's something
Off.
Yeah.
Kanye. Worse.
In a way.
Musk.
He sounds like a nerd.
Gotcha. Interesting. I was interested in watching it, but I had no idea what it was about. I thought it was just him like doing different like hobbies. Like, this is how you do this.
Yeah, I did too. But I heard like it was good, so I watched an episode. Like, what? This is different. Not what I expected.
I have it's funny because like you mentioned anxiety, and I have certain anxieties at stores when like things aren't set up not how they should be, but more so how I feel like they should be. Like there's this one store in Claremont. It's a Burlington. It's not a coat factory. It's just called Burlington. And when you go in there, it's this like massive space with like high ceilings and a bunch of racks of clothes. And I'm just like, this place creeps me out. And there's certain
like Marshalls?
It's like Marshalls, but if Marshalls was twice as high and twice as long. And it just sort of gives me like not OCD but like anxiety. And I like to rebel against that, and I just like complain the whole time I'm in there. And my wife's like, "Stop complaining. This place is fine." I'm like, "No, there's something deeply wrong.
We must leave."
And then I look like at the people that work there because I'm like, if you work here, you must be insane. And then I look at them, and they look insane, dude. Like
it attracts them.
Yeah, and then I was like, if you shop here, you must be insane. And I look at the people that are shopping, and some of them have like the weirdest outfits. I'm like, oh man, this isn't right. Like, this is for psychos.
Then you turn to the mirror. You see yourself.
I've also started a show. I'm surprised you didn't. Well, actually, not too surprised. No,
Showtime.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Winning Time.
Winning Time.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Winning Time, the rise and fall or whatever of the Lakers dynasty, made by some guy, but first episode directed by our boy Adam McKay.
Yes, sir.
I'm super excited for the show. What'd you think about the show?
Interesting. Like first episode, so I think there's not gonna be much.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Not cool. But how they delve into racism so much. I didn't expect that, especially from comedy.
Yeah.
But they make it funny in a way.
Yeah.
So it's super modern.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I love the stylistic choices, different types of film that they're using. I do think it was kind of boring for me. But it's the first episode. You can't really do much, you know? You just like set up a bunch of layers to build up later down the line. I'm excited to see how nerdy it can go, though, because like I know a lot about basketball history, so I'm interested to learn more and to see some of the characters. I'm excited to see our boy Brody as Pat Riley. He's one of the
Who's Brody?
Adrian Brody.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to this podcast where they were saying like this is kind of a different kind of fandom where like people are excited to see Batman in different iterations or excited to see Spider-Man and see like the villains he goes against because like, oh, we never seen this or that. Same thing with like basketball. Like you're going to see Magic play with Kareem.
Yep.
You're going to see Pat Riley talk to Jerry Buss. You're going to see Jerry Buss be a playboy. Like this
is a history gonna be crazy? Like, does it have the makings of like an Adam McKay show?
Wait, what do you mean?
Because I'm assuming it's gonna get into like Playboy sort of mansion-y territory. Does it have? Is Lakers history like that? Where it gets like, what the? That guy was snorting coke off the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Like there's a lot of cocaine in the 80s in basketball. That's why a lot of the teams kind of sucked. And it was just underreported.
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
Who was the guy who played basketball with Magic, who was like trying to get him to leave?
Oh, I actually didn't know about this until now.
Okay, who is he?
He's a point guard. He was playing the position before Magic arrived.
Oh, was that the guy in the salon?
Yeah, the same guy.
Oh, the same.
Yeah.
Okay. They messed up a little bit there.
Why?
Because I didn't know that. I feel like it should have been obvious.
Oh, okay. The one in the fur coat?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Next episode's going to be directed by Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's like the second thing I've ever seen by Jonah Hill.
I haven't seen mid-90s.
Oh, man. It's good. It's a good little come up. But yeah, other than that, I haven't seen much.
Same.
It's time for a section called Really Be Bussin'. I love the music for my Really Be Bussin' intro.
Me too.
No, you don't. I haven't listened to anything new.
Music is in the toilet. Rap's dead.
I haven't stopped.
What do you want me to say?
Don't say nothing unless you have something good to say, like Mama said. Like Mama taught us.
Mama didn't touch me anything. Just waiting for Kendrick. To put me out of my misery.
Waiting for Kendrick.
What else is there? What else do we have?
One quick search. Entertain the people while I do a quick search.
The weekend tickets for his tour for decent seats. Can you?
It's because I'm interested. I want to go.
They're $400.
Really?
For like okay seats.
Even at SoFi?
At LA.
That's a stadium too.
I know. And then the bad seats, they're $150.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
What is that inflation? Probably like how much it costs to actually produce something like that.
I don't know. It's too much. Like
for nosebleeds, you would expect like $20, right? Right?
Like be reasonable. We're not rich.
Wait, didn't this come from the guy that said chump change when I said you owe me $300?
Maybe. It's just like
I know.
It's Bad Bunny did it too. Like who's watching this?
That's how much his were expensive too.
I think his were worse somehow. But like if I was The Weeknd, like is he so out of touch that he doesn't?
I just don't want
Is he so out of touch that he doesn't know $400 is kind of a lot for decent seats? And like the seats next to him, those are like $2,000.
Jesus Christ. I want to go.
I wanted to.
I would kind of be down for 150 at the very top, right?
I looked up because I didn't know. I've never been to a stadium at the top.
It's huge.
But like it was described as watching it on TV.
One person described it as hell-inducing.
I almost killed myself.
Yeah, I know. But at that point, you're just there for the vibe then.
But like I would be up there and realize like I'm poor, you know? Like, I should be there.
I know.
I would not be able to not think about that if I was not at least in like decent seats.
Yeah, because like you're walking all the way to the top. You're like watching all the people just like.
And you can't even see them. Maybe on the TV thing, but then
Their TV thing is amazing though.
But still, I don't want to watch a TV. I want to see his blood and sweat drip off of him
Yeah.
and then fall right on my forehead.
Oh man. Well, at least we're seeing Moulin Rouge for a good like 110, and not too far. You get to see some stuff. I was mad.
Be mad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 'cause like the production to produce something like that, like it costs a lot. Plus, they're trying to get some off the top.
There's a lot of seats. Like, I could do some very rough math and see how much that could be. Like, what they would make from even like 150 times was like 200,000 seats or something.
Right.
You're telling me that cost more than, was that 20 million something?
Yeah.
Plus
Sometimes
merch.
Oh man, don't get me started.
Merch.
The $45 shirts.
If
I hate merch like that.
I wouldn't mind merch like that if the tickets weren't $400.
God.
Like, imagine good seats, $50. Go to the merch stand, $50. Why not?
I know. Well, I guess we're not going. Ivan's mad. He's looking at me like I set the prices.
You did this.
Guys, we'll be back next week with another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. I don't know what movie we're doing next week. Do you?
The Batman again. Second watch.
Part
Nobody's
2.
doing it. We would be the first
The things you didn't see.
in the Batman.
We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. I said that already. Peliculas with the Bros. YouTube, podcast, wherever you're at. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. We talk back. Some guy in India left a comment. I think it was fake, but I still replied. What do you know about that, Ivan?
Fake.
My name's Adrian.
Ivan.
Bye.